We're joined by the amazing, infamous Jason Wyland, known as Pip, across the country. How are you doing, Jason?
Hey, JT. How are you, man?
Man, I'm good.
That great introduction.
It's always good, man. Welcome to the Rush family. I know you came on at a time right before the shutdown, so what you're doing so far, man. Welcome to Rush.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really am happy to be here. Place for me now, and very happy to be here, man. The stuff we have going on, it's something special, and I'm very proud to be a part of this.
Well, awesome. And so what's your role at Missouri Rush?
Yeah, so I was hired as the director for our ECNL program.
Okay, and then so what does ECNL stand for, and kind of what is ECNL?
Right. So ECNL stands for the Elite Clubs National League. All right, so everyone knows it as the ECNL. So basically, the ECNL was started in 2009. A group of director coaches got together. They wanted to create a league that was for elite clubs so they could all compete against high-level competition with like players, like athletes, all with like-minded, drive, like attitudes. And so they created the ECNL in 2009, started that year with 40 clubs, I believe, and then now it's over 100. So yeah.
So you took the ECNL, and obviously recently in the news was the DA, the Development Academy. ECNL and DA, I mean, they were competitors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the DA is under USYS, okay, and the ECNL is under US Club.
Okay.
Two different sanctioning bodies.
So now with the DA, the Development Academy has shut down. What's that mean? Not that we ever want to see programs fold, but what's that mean for ECNL with the DA shutting down?
Right. So it just makes the ECNL more of a luxurious place to be. Since they were competitors, you did have some really, really good clubs across the nation that chose DA instead of ECNL. So it was a little fractured a little bit.
Okay.
But now with the shutdown, I mean, already within 2 weeks, I know of 10 huge clubs that were in the DA that have come over to ECNL already. And the cool thing about ECNL is they're not just going to accept anybody.
Right.
They have to be a well-established club with.
Now, and so in order to get the ECNL, I mean, you have to apply, and there's standards to get in. And that's one of the things.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're not just going to accept anybody.
Right.
They're going to now that they know that they have a stronghold on, and for females, okay, the ECNL is the best place to be, hands down, without question, for female, the highest level of female competition.
Yeah. So you got the ECNL. So what is the league that Missouri Rush will be playing in for the ECNL?
Right. So you got full ECNL members that play in the National ECNL League. So obviously traveling all across the nation and big showcases and playoffs that happen within the full league. So then what they decided to do is break it down so there's still more players get a chance to compete at that level. All right, so now they're going to break it down into regional leagues, okay? I want to say there's at least 6 regional leagues, but don't quote me on that. So regional leagues now within the ECNL. So our ECNL regional league is called the Heartland Conference.
And now so if we look at the Heartland Conference, who is in our conference?
Right, so you have us, Missouri Rush. You have St. Louis, Scott Gallagher. And that's the only 2 St. Louis teams. Then you go over to KC, and we have KC Athletics and KC Scott Gallagher. And then we go up to Omaha, Nebraska with Elite Girls Academy, also known as EGA.
EGA, yeah.
Who also just combined with Gretna up there. So that's going to be a major super club up there. And then over in Des Moines, Iowa, we have Sporting Iowa.
Okay.
So Mo Rush, St. Louis Scott Gallagher, KC Scott Gallagher, KC Athletics, Sporting Iowa, and EGA.
Okay.
The league is made up of 6 teams.
So what age groups are represented for Missouri Rush for the ECNL?
Yeah, so we have U13, U14, U15, U16, U17, and then there's a composite age group, which is always made up of those last 2 years.
Okay.
So basically seniors in high school. This fall, that will be 02 and 03.
So you got 02, 03, 04s, 2000 birth years, 04, 05, 06, 07?
Yes, and 08 for
And
next fall.
Okay.
And obviously, as the years go, those age,
Sure.
those birth years change, right?
Right. Okay. And then, so at Missouri, so you have these teams, and in each age group, is there one? There's one ECNL team, so there's one 06 team that is the elite team. Is that correct?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the way that we're doing it at Missouri Rush is you have our ECNL team, and then you have our United team,
Okay.
and then you have our Premier team, and then other teams underneath that.
Okay. Okay. And then what's the competition? How does gameplay look?
How many games? Yeah, so the league is set up to where we play the other 5 teams, a home and away.
Okay.
And I still hear that noise, and
I don't know what.
where it's coming from.
Sorry.
But so you play each team home and away, but there are also situations that we're looking at to where, like when we go up to Des Moines, the possibility of EGA coming over there and playing there. But
Okay.
basically, in a nutshell, what has definitely happened is you have 10 games and it's a home and away.
And then
That's the way the league works.
when you travel, you're going to go all age groups will go. So all 7 teams would go to Des Moines and play in one day.
That's the plan. All right. So it's actually 5 teams, and that composite team is a little separate just because they added that late.
Okay.
Right? So 5 teams: U13, U14, U15, U16, U17. Yes, the plan is that we all travel together, and so for instance, let's use the KC weekend. We will play both those games in a weekend. So all 5 teams will travel. On a Friday, play KCSG on Saturday, and then play KC Athletics on a Sunday.
Got
It's
it.
just back to back to back. They understand that it could be the same coach for all 5 teams. So there may be a tad overlap, just a tad, or where we would like to warm up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But games will be back to back to back.
Okay. What's the training schedule? I know we're still kind of figuring out the fall, but the rough idea of training take this fall for an ECNL team. How often are you guys going to be training?
Yeah, so my plan is to train all these teams 3 times a week. We do have a specific plan in place to when they all train, but each team will train 3 times a week. And the coolest thing about this is that the training environment now, when we put like players and like athletes together,
It's incredible.
Is that now we really truly create this competitive training environment,
Mhm.
which ultimately just expedites their development.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the things that there's always been a lot of questions, for me as a CAP director, there's always been questions of if I'm not ECNL, if I'm not DA, can I still get recruited? And obviously the answer is yes, but I always tell people what makes ECNL different. And it's just because you're an ECNL at Missouri Rush, it doesn't mean you're the best player in the world. But
Right.
what it means is you are training in a competitive environment 3 days a week. You're traveling and playing a Friday, Sunday game, which closely mimics, actually exactly mimics a Division II schedule of playing Friday, Sunday, traveling as a team, training as a team. And now you're surrounded with like-minded players. And from a college coach perspective, you're able to take a team that if you're playing ECNL, most of the time you're going to want to continue to play in college. And so as a college coach, we know going to watch a game, if you're watching an 06 game or 05 girls game, you got 22 players on the field that most likely all want to continue to play in college.
This is the way I have described the ECNL. The ECNL, now we're able to put players together that have the same drive, the same goals, okay? So I can have a roster of players now that are all driven to succeed, to be the best they can be. Being a part of an ECNL roster, now I can push them to be the best they can be. These players are going to want to reach their potential and want to put in the proper work that it takes to reach their potential.
And I'll say this too, and unfortunately it's going to be on camera, so I can't deny it later. But I could really think of no one better. I've been saying for years, we had the luxury of coaching together at St. Charles 7 years ago, I think. And I think by far you're probably one of the best trainers that I've ever seen. And I've said that openly. And I think for kids that have trained with you, and I say that as someone who has the availability to watch training across the country, and I get to see some really quality trainers and coaches. So I think that you're going to really push these kids to a level that they didn't know they had. And I think it really. I couldn't imagine someone better for the job besides myself. No.
Hey, well, let me just say, man, I appreciate it, dude. All right, I do, and I know that you have spoke very highly of me and my abilities to train, so I appreciate it. And I'll just say that I am confident in that. Like, I feel that I don't have an arrogance about me. I just am very confident in my ability I'm very confident. Technical development and then tactical awareness, soccer IQ.
Yeah.
So those two things, I feel that I can develop in players so fast. Then there's the other things that come along with competing at the ECNL, athleticism and bravery, physicality. And those are the two things that as a coach you can ask for. They have to be a certain amount of athletic. They have to be a certain amount of physical and brave. And you can only ask for that and expect that they execute. They show up or with that type of physicality and bravery. That's in training and games.
Seeing behind you, you got ask not and ask is what are the quotes there? I can't read them.
So this is just something that I wish I could just sit down and every single youth parent in any sport and talk to them about. And I steal this a little bit from obviously a famous president, but it says, ask not what your kid's team rank is. Ask to what level of development can your kid's trainers or coach get them to? And it's like, I just hear so much, well, my kid's team is ranked this, or they're ranked that.
My GOT soccer ranking says I'm number 5.
Instead, too many parents think about the rank of their team instead of who is the trainer or coach developing them.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. And so I just wish that all parents truly understood that look at who is your trainer and coach, who is developing your kid, and not how high their rank is or how many wins they have or how many goals they've scored in slice. It's development should supersede wins. Just Simple as that.
And I know with you being kind of new to Rush, but the ideal, if you take this coming from Tim Schultz, if you take the Rush way, if you take a 10-game season, the win-loss should be 6-3-1 is the ideal, because you can't, if you win every single game, you probably need to bump up. If you lose every single game, you need to go back down. So,
there is no promotion or development, or promotion or relegation. So, the only thing that you can do is, if you do win your league, then you're invited to the national ECNL playoffs. All right, and there's still a lot I'm learning about this ECNL regional league, and I'm pretty certain that is what happens. But I know that there's not a relegation like there is in your
right.
USYS national leagues, Midwest regional league. There's promotion, there's relegation. SLISA, there's promotion, there's relegation, and I get that that needs to happen to keep competition at the same level. But the ECNL, they know that all teams playing in that are highly competitive.
Yeah.
And train with high intensity and high demands. So they're going to be able to have to compete in the league.
So how are you looking? I know the big question is, with COVID and the crisis, and what do you know and what do you tell? What are you telling parents and players right now?
What we know for certain is that we have to abide by MISA's standards.
I've heard 15th or 16th. Yeah, it's that
15th or 16th is the return to play day as of today. What we do know is that we get back at it, after the May 15th return to play, and all clubs are going to have their kick-arounds, tryouts. There's going to be a ton of tournaments stacked on top of each other. And who knows what rosters are going to look like, because that's the time where kids and parents are trying to find places for if they're not happy where they're at, So there's so much unknown right now, man, and it really is a unfortunate situation, but we just kind of got to play each week by year,
So one last question is if you get players who are looking, if they don't make ECNL Missouri Rush, what do you? We still have other spots for them. Because
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so I touched on it a little bit earlier. So there's levels, right? And it's awesome that now Missouri Rush can say that we offer the ECNL level, okay? That level where everyone knows that, hey, if you want to be a part of that, there are high expectations, high demands, the training environment is competitive and it's intense. But if they don't want that, or they're not ready for that, then we have the next level, and that is what we're calling United. So, and so still great coaches and trainers in place there, but it's just a little lesser on the demands and expectations, and the competition isn't as intense.
Yeah.
And then we have another step, and that is Premier. So if they want another step down, and then there's teams underneath that, and that is for the most part across the board of the age groups, but I know maybe there might be just ECNL, United, and Premier, and then maybe not too many teams underneath that, but some we do have a ton. And it's all about the level. It's all about what level a kid wants to play at, wants to train at, what is their potential, So we offer several different levels at each age group.
Good, because I know a lot of the kids. One of the things the kids, I'm sure you're hearing it too, is they don't make the ECNL team. They're devastated or not a good player. And I'll tell you from, and you're in college, and for me, recruiting college, there's you recruit all different levels. If you're not on the 04 ECNL team, it doesn't mean you're not going to be able to play in college. It's just maybe it's a different fit. Everyone has a different fit, and I think that's the coolest thing about Missouri Rush. Obviously, I'm biased. I know you're biased too, but with the ECNL, you got to fit almost literally for everyone at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. And we're only there's 2 clubs that can say they offer ECNL in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're right there with them.
That's awesome.
That other club.
All right, Mr. Jason Wyland, I appreciate your time and everything you're doing. I know we're anxious. I look forward to seeing you on the field.
I thank all the parents for all they're doing to get their kids on these virtual Facebook or Zoom calls. We understand that the kids may not have Facebook or may not have their own computer, laptop, what have you, and the parents, we need them. We need their support to get those kids on it. So I do want to thank them very much for that. And to the kids, hey, you got to continue to, there's 2 things you can do in this time, and that is work on your fitness and work on your technical ability. And if they're not doing that, and all those other kids that are, they're passing them up. They're passing them up fast, and it's going to be blatantly obvious when we get back into it, training, playing, who has been doing things and who hasn't.
Well, no, you're going to know within 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I just hope that the kids are taking these other things that we're offering, virtual learning, Facebook sessions. I hope they take it serious and they're doing them. Because if you're not, the kids are going to pass you by.
Yeah.
You're going to wonder what happened.
And you can get more information at morushsoccer.com. You can email Jason directly. You can get your contact information from the website as well.